deeper he went, the darker it became, until the only light came from the faint glow of the dragon's eyes. Hours passed as Obina struggled through the dense foliage. He was exhausted, his body weak from the ordeal of childbirth and the pain that still coursed through him. Finally, he reached the grove where he had first encountered the serpent. The pool of water lay still and silent, its surface reflecting the dim light filtering through the trees. Obina fell to his knees at the edge of the pool, carefully unwrapping the dragon and lowering it into the water. To his relief, the dragon immediately calmed, the heat radiating from its body dissipating as it submerged itself in the cool water. Obina watched in awe as the dragon drank deeply, its small body seeming to absorb the very essence of the water. As the dragon fed, Obina felt a strange connection forming between them, a bond that transcended the ordinary relationship between a parent and child. Its body had grown larger, its wings more defined, and its scales now shimmered with a vibrant, otherworldly light. The dragon looked up at Obina, and in that moment, he knew that the creature understood him. The journey back to Umudika was markedly different from Obina's earlier trek into the forest. The dragon, now stronger and more aware, stayed close to him, occasionally flying ahead to scout the path before returning to his side. Its presence, though intimidating at first, quickly became a source of comfort for Obina. He knew that the dragon, for all its power, was still a child that needed guidance, protection, and love. The dragon staying hidden among the trees while Obina walked ahead. As they neared the village, Obina noticed that something was wrong. The usual sounds of morning activity, the clatter of pots, the chatter of women at the well, the laughter of children, were absent. A sense of dread settled over him as he quickened his pace. When he finally emerged from the forest, Obina was met with a scene of chaos. The village was in disarray, with homes burned to the ground and the air thick with the acrid smell of smoke. Villagers huddled together in groups, their faces etched with fear and despair. Obina rushed forward, his heart pounding. "What happened?" he asked the first person he came across, an elderly woman named Nena, who had always been kind to him. Nena looked up at him with tear-filled eyes. "The warriors came," she whispered. "They came in the night demanding our food and water. When we couldn't give them enough, they destroyed everything." Obina's blood ran cold. He had heard of the band of warriors that had been terrorizing the neighboring villages, but he never imagined they would come to Umudike. The village had always been small and unremarkable, not worth the attention of such ruthless men. As he stood there, trying to process the devastation, Obina felt a sudden surge of anger, an anger that was not entirely his own. The dragon, still hidden in the forest, had sensed the injustice and was reacting to it. Obina could feel its desire to protect, to fight back against those who had caused so much suffering. But how could he unleash such a powerful creature on the village? The dragon's rage, while righteous, could easily spiral out of control, causing even more destruction. Obina had to make a decision, and he had to make it fast. "Where are they now? The warriors?" Nena pointed toward the north, where the road leading out of the village disappeared into the distance. "They went that way," she said, her voice trembling. "They said they would return if we didn't find more to give them." Obina nodded, a plan forming in his mind. He would follow the warriors and confront them, but he wouldn't do it alone. The dragon was powerful, but it needed guidance that only he, as its father, could provide. Before he could leave, however, Obina knew he had to protect the villagers. He couldn't leave them vulnerable to another attack. He quickly gathered the remaining elders and explained his plan, leaving out the part about the dragon. He told them to gather everyone in the village and take them to the caves on the outskirts, where they could hide until the danger had passed. The elders, too frightened and desperate to question his plan. As the villagers hurried to follow Obina's instructions, he made his way back to the edge of Nkwa forest, where the dragon waited. The creature had sensed his turmoil and approached cautiously, its glowing eyes searching his face for answers. "We must confront the warriors," Obina said, kneeling beside the dragon. "They have brought suffering to our people, and they will continue to do so unless we stop them. But we must be careful. I know your power is great, But it must be controlled. Do you understand? The dragon tilted its head, a low rumble resonating from deep within its throat. Obina could feel its agreement, but also its impatience. The dragon was ready to unleash its fury, but it trusted Obina to guide it. Together they set off toward the north, following the path the warriors had taken. The road was long and winding, but Obina's determination and the dragon's swift flight made the journey quicker than he had expected. As they moved, the bond between them deepened, and Obina could sense the dragon's thoughts more clearly. He could feel its raw energy, a well of power that seemed almost infinite, but also a growing understanding of the world around it. By the time they caught up with the warriors, the sun was beginning to set. The group of men, rough and battle-hardened, had set up camp in a clearing by the road. They laughed and shouted, drinking from stolen gourds and boasting of their conquests. Obina watched them from the cover of the trees, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anger. He knew that confronting them directly would be dangerous, but he also knew that he couldn't allow them to continue their rampage. The dragon shifted beside him, its body tense with anticipation. Obina placed a hand on its neck, feeling the heat beneath its scales. "Wait," he whispered. "We need to be smart about this." He considered his options. The warriors were strong, but they were also overconfident. They had no reason to suspect an attack, especially not from a single man and his strange companion. Obina knew that their strength lay in their numbers, but he also knew that they would be vulnerable if they were taken by surprise. Obina took a deep breath and stepped out of the trees, the dragon following close behind. As they approached the camp, the warriors noticed them and fell silent, their drunken laughter replaced by wary suspicion. The leader of the group, a tall man with a scar running down the side of his face, stood up and sneered. "What do we have here?" he called out, his voice dripping with mockery. "A lone farmer and his pet lizard? Have you come to beg for mercy, old man?" Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and leave me a comment in the comments section. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell notification button to get notified when I upload the next part of this story. Bye for now.